I've given some thought about government closing down businesses, and I'm convinced that number one, they really don't have the right to do that. And number two, if they did, they don't have a right to collect taxes, including property taxes from the businesses that they forced to close. First of all, let me explain that I don't think government has the right to close down businesses because the right to earn a living precedes and is even more important than government business. When you read the Bible, you find there are three things that government cannot do that God established even before government. And that is, government cannot stop the worship of God. Adam and Eve worshiped God. Number two, they cannot stop people from marrying. Adam and Eve got married without government and without the state. And number three, God gave Adam work to do in the garden before government. Therefore, the right to work and earn a living is more powerful than the rights that government thinks it has. So I think number one, logic, common sense, the essence of fairness tells us that government cannot really shut down businesses. But number two, if a government feels like they have to shut down business and they do it, then it is not the right of government to collect the very taxes on businesses that they have forced to close up that stops them from being able to pay taxes. In other words, how can government then close down businesses and yet continue to collect property taxes from those businesses that they closed up? Now, I'm aware that when a government closed down businesses, they are not going to collect sales taxes, obviously, if the businesses are closed. But I also would say you cannot collect property taxes or any form of taxes that the government collects in which they have forced the businesses to close down that they can't pay. So I think there's a lawsuit just waiting to happen to the government because inherently government cannot, and I emphasize cannot, collect taxes when they force the closure of businesses. At least they cannot collect it during the period of the closure. So I want you, if you're a government leader, to think deeply about the right to earn a living. You say to me, but Bishop, we have a problem. We have a coronavirus and we're closing businesses for the sake of people. Well, number one, don't you think businesses are aware of the risk of opening businesses? Don't you think that they care about their customers? Because if they make their customers sick, it's not going to help businesses to do that. Or if their employees get sick, it's not going to help businesses. So businesses are aware of the risk. But what I'm simply saying is businesses have to take it upon themselves to mitigate those risks, either by closing or by having other practices to make sure their employees and customers don't get sick. So to say that government doesn't have an invested interest in the health of its employees and customers, and only government has that interest is wrong. Businesses have a great interest in keeping people healthy as well. What I'm saying is, number one, government does not have the right biblically, logically, common sense, and in justice to close down businesses. And number two, if they do, they don't have a right to collect any form of taxes while those businesses are shut during that time.